Okay, so right now I'm just going to do some basic med med setup for a new person who might be not too familiar or had a lot of practice with setting up meds. First thing you're going to need when you set up meds is you're going to need the Mars. Okay, so that's always in this purple binder. We've got our little cups here that we use for the meds. They have a screw cap, which is why I like to use these, because there's no way for the pills to fall out of the container. So we have those. The first thing you're going to do when you set up medications for a resident is you're going to find your Mars for that particular resident. Then you're going to locate your medications, which are right here. We use these bins here, which contain all of our residents' medications in one location. So the other thing is that when you're doing medications, you're always going to have your times. So if you're setting up morning medications, you're going to go through the list, look for your 8 a.m. And like for here, we color code everything, so it would be the pink times. Those are always going to be mornings. Blues are bedtime, and then orange is noon, and green is dinner time. PRNs are not color coded. Because we don't have they're not a set schedule, of course, because they're as needed. So anyways, so what you're going to do is you're going to find your first medication, and right here I have, let's see here, Sertraline 100 milligram. Now when you set up medications, you always have to do your 5 rights, okay? You need to have the right resident, the right medication. So let's find our medication here. So we have Sertraline 100 milligram, as you can see here. So you always want to check the milligram, because sometimes the pharmacy could have a typo. Sometimes they will give the wrong dose. It doesn't happen very often, but on occasions it can happen. The other thing is, sometimes if you're getting new medications or you're having family bring medications, say they have some medications at home that mom needs to use up, well, they may bring those in and not realize that it's the wrong dose now. Maybe something had changed between the time that they picked it up. It could have been 6 months ago, and now they don't realize that that medication is no longer the correct dosage. Maybe doctor upped it or downed it. You never know how the dosage could have changed. So you always want to verify the amount or the dose. Okay, so you have your right resident, right medication, right dose. Then you're also going to look at the route. So it's take 1 tab by mouth, or PO, daily. PO means by mouth. Some routes might be topical, some could be eye drops, some could be inhaling, inhalants like an asthma medication or a nebulizer treatment. Then you could have something that's anal. You could have something that is pretty much, I think I've covered everything. Sublingual is under the tongue. So you just want to pay attention to what the route of your medication is. It could change, especially if you have like a hospice patient who can no longer swallow. Then sometimes those medications will be given rectally instead of giving them orally. So always know your route. Okay, so then we've got the right resident, the right medication, the right dosage, the right route, and then you're also going to be looking for the right time. So the Sertraline is for 8 a.m., so that is the correct time. So then we're going to grab our container. we're going to double check how many tabs they're supposed to have, and this is take 1 tab. So we have one in the, so that goes back in the container, and now we're going to initial because it is in the cup. Okay, so now we can, that way, the reason why you do it this way, you initial as you add it to the cup, is because if someone were to begin yelling for help and you're the only one here, and you have to now leave your medications in the closet, of course you will shut the door and make sure the keys are on you. That way the medication is locked safely, so that a resident can't, you know, walk in here and take the wrong medications. So you never leave the medication closet unattended. You always lock it when you walk away. Anyways, so if a resident yells for help, you have to lock the closet in and leave to go check on them. Then you can come back here and you know exactly where you were at in your medications because you've already initialed everything you've put in the cup. So it's the best and safest way to make sure that no errors occur when you are setting up the medications. If when you go to give the medications to a resident and they refuse the medications, or for whatever reason it doesn't get taken, then you can come back to the book and you can circle your initial, and then you write on the back of the paper that the resident, you know, did not take the medication for whatever resident refused pill, and then you just mark the date and the time that that occurred and which medication it was, and then you can then, you know, toss the pill. You do not want to, don't be worried about, oh, well, I don't want to initial because what if they don't take it? You circle your initial if they don't take the medication. That is how you notify us. When we look at this and we see your initial circled, we'll know the resident did not get that medication. And then we can look on the back to see why. Maybe they were out with family longer than expected, and so they weren't here to get their medications. Usually we'll send medications out with family, but let's say the family only planned on keeping them for an hour and then they ended up keeping them all day. Or, you know, they were at a doctor's appointment that lasted way longer than expected, then you would just document in here that they were out of the facility and unable to take their meds. So anyways, yeah, that's the reason why we initial as we put it in the cup. So the next medication is going to be Spiriva, okay? So Spiriva is one of the ones we talked about that's an inhalant. Okay, so it's a little cap that's in this foil container, and you actually put it in side of this little contraption here. Anyways, when you put this in, sorry, this is, I'm fumbling with it. Okay, so you take the little capsule, you can see here. Now this is not something that they take orally, so you want to make sure this cap never ends up in the cup. Okay, it always goes inside the device. You close it, and then it will not, what the resident does is they push this blue button, they push it in, and that punctures the capsule. And the capsule has a powder in it. So then they would inhale from the mouthpiece, and then they would inhale the powder. So, you know, you got to make sure that they push this in all the way. Otherwise, you know, they're not getting anything if they don't puncture that capsule. Anyways, so that's how you would set up this one. And if you're not nurse delegated, then you cannot push the button for the resident. They have to be able to do that themselves. Otherwise, you'll need nurse delegation to be able to push this and instruct them to breathe while you're pushing it in and holding it to their mouth. So you just set it up like this, and now that's done, and I'm going to initial. Okay. Now, the next one is potassium chloride. Now this is where things get interesting because some of the medications are in containers and some of a resident's medications might be in pharmacy packs. So these little white strips contain resident medications, and it will tell you on the medication the name of the resident, the date, the time, the dosage, the name of the medication and the dosage, and it will tell you, it also has a description of the pill so that you know which one's which. So for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 5 pills in this package here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this will tell you on the front here. Sorry, I'm trying to respect privacy here. So here you can see that each medication has the name, it has the quantity, it also has the dosage, and then it will describe the pill right below. So it might, this one says, oh, that says the doctor, sorry. Right here, LU-R52. Okay, that is the number on the pill, okay? And in other places, like right here, it says, can you see it? Yellow oval. Okay, so we know it's a yellow oval pill. That's the pantoprazole sodium. Okay, I don't know if I said that right, so don't judge. Anyway, so that one is the only yellow pill, as you can see here. Yellow oval. So, and then this giant blue pill right here, that one would be the LU-R52, and that is potassium. So you see I'm able to tell which pill is in all these packets, which one's which. Okay, so I'm going to mark these off. So furosemide, first I need to mark off the potassium, that's here. Okay, then I'm gonna mark off the Protonix, which is the pantoprazole sodium. It's the 40 milligram, and that matches, so I'm gonna initial that one. And then the furosemide, that one is 40 milligrams, and these are 20 milligram tabs, but my MAR says 40 milligrams. Okay, so that's one of the things that you need to notice here. Let me find it. There it is. So you can see here the furosemide should be 40 milligram. Take 1 tab every morning. Well, we have 2 20 milligram tabs. So that's going to be the same thing. The pharmacy probably doesn't have 40 milligram tabs, so it would be 2 20 milligram tabs. So it's not an error, you just have to pay attention to that. That's why you always look at the dosage, okay? So that is everything on the packet. So the packet is now ready to be placed in the cup. All right, now the only things left are the carbidopa levodopa, which is a Parkinson's med. So we're going to put that in, and the milligrams, 10, 100, 10, 100. Okay, we're good to go. That one is done. And then we also need our Tylenol arthritis medication, which is here. 650 milligrams. And as you can see here, 650 milligrams. So one tab. That one's done. The last two is the probiotic. Probiotics are amazing, okay? As a new person, you should know that this is something that I fully believe in. These will keep UTIs away. They help with, you know, gut health. And when someone has a good, healthy gut, then typically the rest of their body stays healthy. When the gut starts having issues, when your digestive system starts having issues, that's when the rest of the body starts not getting the things that it needs. So making sure that you have probiotics and cranberry pills for all of your ladies will really help keep UTIs away. Since we've been doing cranberry pills and probiotics, which the probiotics that we use are these Culturelle Digestive Health Daily Probiotic. These are awesome because since we started using these for our residents along with the cranberry tabs, we have not had any UTIs in our home for about 2.5 years. Now, we used to have UTIs almost every week because our confused folks sometimes have trouble with cleanup in the bathroom, and not only that, but they also have a lot of incontinence issues. And when residents are incontinent, that's when you start getting you know, bacterial issues that, you know, cause the UTIs and bladder infections. So probiotic and cranberry pill, and typically we use the probiotics for even our men too, just because they really do have so many health benefits. We really like to see the probiotics being used for all of our folks. So some of them I'll even eat the cost of them. If the families aren't willing to pay for it, I will. So I really do encourage these, even for staff, you know, kids, everybody. Like, they're really good for everyone. So we put our probiotic in there, and then we sign. And then last but not least is the cranberry tabs. So the cranberry tabs that we use are these. They're 4,200 milligram, which is pretty strong for a cranberry pill. And these also are very high in vitamin C. So let's see here. So per serving, they're getting 44% of their vitamin C a day just from this. So, you know, it's again got a lot of health benefits. So cranberry pill in, and we are done. So we have set up all of our meds and initialed, and we are all set. So if you have any further questions on things, something that maybe I didn't cover here, this was just kind of a basic setup of how you want to set up your medications. If you have a family member at home, a grandparent that, you know, takes a lot of medications, feel free to use any of our documents here, like our blank Marsh sheets or BM charts. Feel free to use those. You know, take it home and use it for them. The Mars, there's blank ones in the back of the Mars. So if someone starts a new medication, you're going to put their name, the month, and the year, and then you're going to, in this blank square is where you write the name of the medication, the dosage, and then the instructions on the label, or the doctor's orders, like, you know, 1 tab by mouth twice a day or whatever, you know, and then you write your times in this slot, and then you have your daily count for the month, and so you can then just initial in the box. It's really helpful so that if you have more than one person helping with the medications, you know, then everybody knows if the med was given or not, and it just makes life a lot easier. Me and my husband took care of his grandmother at our house for a while, and she had a lot of medications. She was diabetic, and so we had one of these MAR setups and a binder for her blood sugars and everything like that at home, so that when we were, you know, I was going on shift, he was coming home, or vice versa, we knew what the other person did, because she got pretty confused and couldn't, you know, give us accurate information every time. So anyways, we also did it for her meals and her bowel movements, you know, tracking all those things. So these come in really handy, even if it's for your kids or a grandparent. So anyways, you also have extra forms in the back, which are the calendar forms. We use those for tracking BMs or writing meals and food, input, output, if we need to be documenting, you know, urine or anything like that. The other thing we have is our vitals sheets. There's blank ones in the back, so you can make sure that you, you know, if you use the last entry, that you know where the forms are. Everything that's in this book, the blank documents will be in the back, the master copies, so that you can, you know, refill the pages. Anyways, the pharmacy sends us the MARs every month. Someone on the staff will be responsible for making sure those are color coded and they're accurate, and there's no updated information that needs to be fixed for the next month. Anyways, so that's pretty much everything. There's some other videos on when you have a bin assigned to you, what to do, how to do that, how to track the inventory of the bins, the supplies for your resident, and that sort of stuff. But anyways, if you have any other questions, just ask. We want to make sure that you feel comfortable with all of the medications that you give. All right, thanks so much. Bye.